Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I'm an empath as well as an intuitive tarot reader here on YouTube. And it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this week's reading, which is going to be all about the messages that you need to hear the most right now from Spirit. We have 5 piles today, which I am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that I have not had on my channel before. I might be mistaken, but yeah, 5 piles is not a normal for me. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how we get on and what sort of messages come through and all that. But the aim is to keep this reading sort of nice and short and to the point. But I guess that's it for the intro part. So I'm going to introduce you to the piles now. Oh, by the way, if you see the light change a lot, it's because today it's really shifty weather. The sun keeps going out and coming back, and it's like, anyway, so yeah, it's kind of a weird lighting situation today, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad, so don't mind that. But anyway, coming back to the piles, we have 5 piles, as I already said, and they go from left to right. So we have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So yeah, I really like the thing I did last week with the doors. So I decided to use some Lenormand cards this time, and these Lenormand cards are representing their piles. So whichever card or cards you feel drawn to, that is your pile, and you will know, like, intuitively whether you feel a nudge, whether you hear something, whether you are drawn visually to something. Like whether a symbol speaks to you in some way, or some sort of emotion or anything is like triggered via a specific card. Any sort of little cues like that is going to help you decide which pile you should watch, which pile your intuition is pulling you towards. And as I always say, if you're drawn to more than one pile, that's absolutely fine. You can watch as many as you like. You can watch all 5 of them if you want to, but generally speaking, it's going to resonate with you the strongest, like in one pile. There may be other messages scattered throughout, so there may still be something useful for you in other piles too, but generally speaking, one pile should be the one that resonates with you most accurately. And if there aren't any piles that are resonating with you, then it might just not be your message, because this is a general reading and it's not possible to accommodate every single person's story. So yeah, bear that in mind and always use your discernment as you are watching these types of readings. But anyway, having said all of that, I will leave you here to choose. Take your time. And when you are ready, you can go into the description box down below, click on the timestamp that you need, and jump to your reading. So happy choosing, and I will see you very soon. Hello, pile number 1. This is your reading because you chose the Birds Lenormand card. That's what this is known as in the Lenormand system. And basically what this card is talking about is it's symbolizing meetings and dates and sort of like get-togethers, because it's all about communication. It's all about exchanging information. It's about like chittering pretty much is what the birds are doing, right? They chitter to each other. So this is like that sort of communication. It can also be about like gossiping, exchanging ideas, making plans, that type of thing. But it's very much all about communication and reaching out to someone, or someone reaching out to you. So yeah, this is the energy of the Birds card in Lenormand. And usually it's like a very laid back energy, usually, because it mostly talks of like small talk. It's not really like you're going to get together and it's going to be a very like deep and meaningful conversation. I mean, of course it can be as well, but the the general energy of this card is much more like laid back, relaxed, chilled, unless it's with some more negative cards, then it has a different meaning. But just on its own, it's generally, as I said, kind of more relaxed, laid back, chatting, that type of vibe. So based on what this card means, I'm getting the sense that at this time you may be going through like a very social period, or you may be drawn to sort of come out of your shell more, get together with people more, wanting to do things, wanting to catch up with people that you haven't spoken to in a while, sort of looking for that laid back vibe, you know, really wanting to interact with people and plan get-togethers, plan reunions, that type of thing. It just seems like you are in a more like social energy, or your life at this stage, at this moment, is very like social, or a lot is happening, and people are sort of reaching out to you and that type of thing. So yeah, there's possibly a lot of communication in your life right now. So that's what we are getting from the birds here, but let me sort of put it somewhere where you could still see it, but that it wouldn't be in the way. Actually, let's just put it over here then, on the side here, like this. Okay. And now that we have focused on the card that you chose, we are also going to get some more information from these oracle cards. And these cards will actually give us an overview of your current circumstances, of your reality, but it's going to be through your personal perception. So we're going to see what you feel that you are currently going through, what you feel that you are currently dealing with. So hopefully it will help sort of discern, and well, it will help you discern or sort of resonate with the reading more easily. Okay, we're starting off with a change in the wind. Oh, okay. We also have Don Juan, spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Oh my God, this is exactly like the birds. It's so funny because this can also be flirting. As I said, it can also represent dates. So yeah, it's very much that, like, it can very much be about seductive energy too. So yeah, okay, it's kind of funny. Anyway, we also have the light attribute is spotlights your positive seductive qualities, and the shadow attribute is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Okay, we have she who listens, understanding, witness, compassion. We have transparency, honest, authentic, genuine, present. She who is wild, untamed, wild, mysterious. Ocean, ebb and flow. And truth be told. Okay. So pile one. I'm feeling sort of two distinct energies in these cards. And what this is telling me is that it feels like this is talking about a certain relationship between you and someone else. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but I am feeling a lot more strongly that it is, simply because of this Don Juan card here, which does indicate a more romantic undertone. Now, it can also imply that if you don't have romantic relations or romantic feelings, I should say, for the individual that this reading is talking about, it can be that the other person has romantic feelings for you, and sort of there's a slight discrepancy there. Or it can be also vice versa, right? It may be that you are not actually in like a romantic couple with that person, but you may have romantic feelings towards them. You may have a certain like a soft spot, or a certain maybe just a little crush towards them. But it seems that someone is definitely interested. in someone. So again, whether that's you, whether that's the other person, or whether that's both of you, that is for you to discern and sort of place the pieces together so that it would fit your current situation. But now the two distinct energies that I'm getting here are that, like, one is very much stable, very much vulnerable, very much open, and very much sort of honest and sincere about their intentions, about what they want, about their wishes, desires. And the other energy is a lot more shifty, a lot more unpredictable, a lot more sort of like going back and forth, being hot one day, being cold the other. It's almost like a dance. And so I actually love that this card, this Don Juan card, is there is a man and a woman dancing here. So I feel like it's a very, very apt representation of the energy that I'm feeling. So someone is definitely like leading that dance, and the other is definitely sort of being led or being carried away by that energy. And it is very seductive. It's very powerful. It's very mysterious as well. That's what I feel like. It's very mysterious. It almost keeps you like returning for more, wanting to find out more, wanting to dig deeper, wanting to delve into the energy of the other person and sort of become more acquainted, become more familiar with it. But it's like this cat and mouse game. Like I was saying, it's like you are allowed in a bit, and then there is some sort of like wall that goes up, and then you're allowed in a bit more, and then there is another wall that comes up. So it's almost like, you're making some progress, but it's very, very minor and very unpredictable and very unsteady. So it seems to be causing you some anxiety. And now, if you remember, I was talking about this bird's card here, which, yes, is about like communication. It's about that sort of pleasant, chilled atmosphere where you get together and you exchange ideas and you talk about stuff. But it's also, like I said, in conjunction with some other cards, with other energies, the sort of the energy of that card changes as well. So if there are some negative cards around, it can indicate some anxiety, some stress, some worry, because again, it's that jittery, that very, like, how should I say, it almost like it's a bit like jumpy energy, or it's an energy that doesn't stand still. So fidgety, that's probably the best way to say it. Fidgety, it's fidgety energy. And so looking at these cards here now, I kind of get the sense that you do want that social component. You do feel this pull to the other person, and you do want to be with them, and you want to hang out with them, and you want to make plans with them, and you want to go on dates with them. Or again, whether it's romantic or whether it's not romantic, it doesn't actually even matter that much, because the main thing is that you want to be with that other person, or that other person really wants to be with you. But someone is not being fully honest about where they truly stand. Now, I'm being completely honest, and I hope that it doesn't like come off as too harsh, but it does seem like someone is like leading the other person on a bit. Now, again, whether this is you or whether this is the other person, I will let you decide. But I am definitely more strongly feeling that it's the other person, that you are the one who is sincere, who is very honest and upfront about what you're feeling. And I feel like you're also sort of making space, or giving that other person space, and being very understanding, being very compassionate, right? Doing everything on your part to help that other person open up. But it's almost like this card says, untamed and wild. It's almost like there's no restraining them, or there's no restraining is not the best word to use because it sounds so forceful, but it's not really possible to like get them to be still and get them to open up the way that you would like them to open up. So there is definitely this desire for the truth to be told, for like real, honest, authentic feelings to be expressed. And again, that's what I feel like this Birds card is essentially indicating, that there's this energy of like you wanting to reach out, wanting to talk things through, wanting to sort of communicate, right? Make sense of what is actually happening. But this other person is like, either they are constantly coming up with excuses so that like they can't meet you, or even when they do get together with you, it's like there are always things that you like are doing, or things that they need to do, or there's like, or if you even are speaking to them and you can like get to that conversation space with them, it's always very like small talkish. Like I was saying, it's not like that deep and meaningful conversation. That's not the energy of the birds, at least not usually. And so it seems like when you do have conversations, they don't really get to the core of the matter. They don't really get beneath surface level, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. So I do feel like with this a change in the wind, I do feel like you are sort of at this point where you do want things to change, where you don't want to be stuck in that limbo state, stuck guessing, stuck chasing after the person. Again, if the roles are reversed, take it as it resonates. But either way, I feel like change is something that you are yearning for. Yeah, it's what seems to be sort of on your mind a lot, this person and this relationship with that person. So anyway, if you resonate with this energy, if you recognize yourself and this individual and you kind of make sense of it, then keep watching, because this is definitely your pile. And we are now going to move on to the tarot cards, where Spirit is going to tell you more specifically where you are on the right track about things and what you should reconsider, what would do you good. So let's see. We're starting off with Temperance reversed, with the Ace of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. And we have the Devil reversed. Okay, I'm feeling a very strong connection to the Don Juan energy here. Wow, with the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So let's start by looking at what it is that you are doing right, what you should continue doing, or where you are on the right track. Now, we have this Temperance reversed and we have this Page of Pentacles reversed, which are sandwiching the Ace of Cups, which is the only upright card here. And so what this is telling me is that the Ace of Cups, which is love, which is affection, which is an open heart space, this tells me that Spirit is saying that that's the right thing. The fact that you are open, the fact that you are honest, and again, this almost even like sort of makes me think that this Ace of Cups, it makes me think that the situation that I was feeling is more strongly talking about you, where you are being the genuine and authentic one and the other person is being the more fidgety one, or the you know what I mean. It seems that's like, it seems to be the case because the Ace of Cups is here. So I feel like this is talking about you and your heart space, your emotions, your heart being worn on your sleeve. And I feel like a Spirit is saying that that's actually a really, really good thing. That you are this open, that you are this vulnerable, that you are this honest and sincere about your feelings. Because, like, if you are full of love, you will attract love back. You can't really attract true love when your heart space is closed. So I think that's a really amazing thing. But I also actually really like that both of these cards are coming out in reverse, because what this is telling me is that even though you're not necessarily holding back with your emotions, you're not being like stupid about it either. And I know that okay, stupid is probably also too hard of a word to use, or too harsh of a word to use. You're not being foolhardy, is probably a more mild way to say it, about your emotions. With the Page of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you are not way too invested, or you're not necessarily like giving too much of yourself to the other person or to this connection. It seems that you are cautious. That's what this Page of Pentacles reverse is telling me, is that you are cautious and very like selective about how much you are giving your energy and your affection to this person. You are open, yes, and you are welcoming and receptive, but you are not overly pouring your energy into the other person, especially where that other person is not pouring their energy and their love back to you. So these energies here are talking to me about caution. And I also feel with this Temperance in reverse that you're not trying to be something that you're not. It seems that you're not trying to like please the other person, or trying to change yourself, or change your needs, change your desires because of what this other person is doing. You're sort of remaining true and loyal to what you feel, what you value, what you cherish, what is important to you, and you are sticking to what you care about. And I feel with this Ace of Cups that you do care about yourself. You do care about looking after yourself as well, not getting lost in that relationship. And so this is very like healthy to me. It feels like you are acting in a very like healthy and responsible way, especially based on how this other person is reacting. So it's almost like this beautiful blend of you using your head and using your heart, and acting very responsibly based on those areas, not getting lost in that emotion, even if you do feel a slight crush, or if you have romantic feelings, if you are even in love with this other person, right? Because the heart wants what the heart wants. You can't force your heart, and sometimes you can't help but fall for the wrong people, or at least fall for people who are not capable of giving you what you are capable of giving them. Anyway, that's what you are definitely on the right track about. But let's look at where you should possibly reconsider. With the Devil reversed, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles, this is very like attached energy, but I do feel that pretty much this whole section is talking about that other person, this Don Juan archetype character thing. And again, we're not talking about genders, right? You can be female, the other person can be male, vice versa. You know, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, the gender part doesn't matter at all. This is just that energy, that like masculine energy that is coming through with the Don Juan. Now, I do get a very strong sense that both the Devil and the King of Pentacles is just the energy of that other person. It's feeling a bit like, how should I say? The energy of the other person feels a bit like stuck up, or self-centered, self-serving, almost like being overly in love with themselves, and not in the like self-love sense, which is a very healthy form of being in love with yourself, but in a sense that like makes them probably see themselves in an exaggerated light, or where they have like an over overly inflated ego or something like that. This feels very, very like very egoic and also very manipulative. It's almost like with the King of Pentacles, they know what they have to offer, and they know that they are like desired, or that they are like worthy of attention. And it definitely feels like they are. I mean, with the King of Pentacles, they can be very financially secure. They can have a very respectable job, or they may be very just like very respected in their community, in their field of work, whatever it is. They may come from like a very respectable family or something like that. They may be like a manager or an owner of a company, or I don't know, but it seems like they feel very, very good about themselves, and in a slightly, again, exaggerated way. So there is something like obsessive or controlling about them that I really don't like. Almost like they enjoy power dynamics, and they enjoy playing power dynamics with other people, seeing how much sway they can have over someone, or something like that. I don't know. It's really, it's just a bit too selfish, this energy, and a bit too like manipulative, or not having the best intentions. So yeah, that's what I feel about this individual. But with the Devil here, that there is something like very charming about them. As I said, it's that Don Juan energy. It's like you realize that they are the bad boy or whatever type, but it's very, very sexy. It's very attractive. It's very alluring, and you can't help but like feel drawn to them, even though you know that they're trouble. It's that type of energy. And with the Knight of Pentacles, what I'm feeling is that this is talking about their demands or their needs, and how they are almost like not willing to compromise or meet you halfway in any sense. They are expecting you to meet their demands, their needs, their wants. And so I feel like what Spirit is saying is to be very, very, very wary, and think very, very hard about how much you are willing to entertain their wishes, their demands, their expectations, that type of thing. Because this to me feels like this is unmoving energy. This is stuck energy. This is someone who is not willing to invest, or not willing to put themselves on the line, to risk anything, to step out of their comfort zone. They are expecting you to come to them. And so that's why I love that this Page of Pentacles in reverse is here, because this is telling me that you are cautious, that you are not like blindly running after this other person, and that you are sort of like, again, you're being smart about how you handle the situation and how much of yourself you are actually giving to that person. So yeah, it just seems like Spirit is wanting you to really evaluate for yourself whether this is the person to really pursue, whether this is the person that you can build something solid with in the future, if it's somewhere that you want to put your energy and your love and attention, all of that into. That's what I feel like this reconsideration part is about. And of course, if you feel that it is, that's your prerogative. But I do feel, especially with this bird's energy, with you wanting to like get to the bottom of things, wanting to get to the truth, it may be very difficult to get that out of this individual, simply because they are so like guarded and shielded, and there is a lot going on within them that they should probably need to deal with. But anyway, that's what I'm feeling, pile number one. But let's look at the final oracle card before we close the reading out and see what advice Spirit has for you. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is the most important part of your reading. We have Skadi. I hope I'm saying it right. Authenticity, truth, and honesty. So seeing as this is the advice as well, I do feel like what Spirit is really hinting at here, or almost yelling, is that basically you stay loyal and honest and truthful to you. And I feel like it's very, very important for you to like open up about what your expectations are, what your wishes are, what your desires are, and like see how this other person reacts. Because yeah, it's, as I said, these energies that I was sensing are very, very different. They almost feel in like different vibrational levels in a way. So yeah, it's clearly important for you to speak your mind, to say exactly how it is that you feel and what it is that you want, what it is that you are looking for, and sort of see what comes out of it. Because no matter what, it seems like a conversation needs to happen here. It seems like even though you may be in like constant communication or in constant like contact with that person, the real matters are not really being discussed. And so I feel like that's something that really needs to be sort of honed in on. What is the truth? What is the core of the issue? What really needs to be addressed so that something could change, so that this like little cat and mouse thing could come to an end, and you could finally understand what this other person's real true motives and wishes are. Get to the truth, pile number one. That's your message. Get to the truth. I almost forgot. I wanted to also read this oracle card from the guidebook. So this is the Goddess Spirit Oracle deck, and yeah, I felt very strongly that I had to read the oracle guidebook for this last message. So here we go. So okay, this is a Norse goddess, and again, authenticity, truth, and honesty. When Skadi went to Asgard, the realm of the gods, to avenge her father, they offered her Njord as a husband as compensation. Although Skadi cherished living in the mountains where she could hear the howling of the wolves, Njord wanted to live in his home by the sea where he could listen to the seagulls squawking. Skadi had to be honest. She would miss her home too much, so they agreed to split their time between the two places. It's important to be true to yourself. There is a price for doing things for others when it means sacrificing who you are. It will only hurt everyone in the end. Be honest, speak your truth, and respect all that you are. Home is where the heart is. And then there is a little mantra as well, which says, in love and kindness, I speak my truth. So there you go, pile number one. That's the message from Spirit to you. Again, this feels like a perfect way to end the reading. And okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this useful and that it resonated. Please do let me know if this reading spoke to you in some way. If you enjoyed it, you can also give me a thumbs up. That would help my channel out a lot. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these readings and hang out with me in the future. Any other information that you need is in the description box down below. And if I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, pile one. And I hope to see you very soon in my next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. I hope that you are all doing really, really well and that you are excited for this. Now, you chose this Lenormand card, and what this card is known for, or what it's called, is it's actually the coffin card. Even though it may sound a bit scary, it's kind of like the death card in tarot, which means that it talks about endings. It talks about things transforming, something coming to a close, and something new sort of taking its place, or something being transmuted, right? So whatever has been one way in the past, it's going to be changing and shifting into something new. And even though it can mean like loss and grief and sort of pain, suffering, that type of thing as well, but that sort of almost comes with like change, because change is never pleasant. Change is always something that is uncomfortable, something that triggers a lot in us. and makes us feel a lot of deep and heavy emotions. Not always, but a lot of the times. And just based on what this card means and symbolizes in Lenormand, I'm getting that you may currently be going through a very transformational time. There may be a lot of changes in your life that you are currently experiencing, or you may have suffered some losses, you may have lost out on something, or you may have had to release or let go of something or someone. So yeah, it seems like at this time you are experiencing a lot of release, a lot of loss, a lot of letting go, and making space in your life. So that's what this card is really telling me. But let's see what we can find out from the oracle cards, which are going to give us a more detailed overview, hopefully. So we are going to look at what you are currently experiencing or going through, and this is going to be specifically from your personal perspective or perception. So what you feel that you're currently experiencing. So let's see. Okay, we have milk and honey. We also have servant, with the light attribute being delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, and the shadow attribute being using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. We have she who avenges, revenge outcomes justice. Reflections, what you contemplate can actualize. She who begins, launch, actualize potential. Forest, breath. And finally, unfinished symphony. Okay. So pile 2, I'm feeling somewhat conflicting energy here, and I feel that that conflicting energy is all happening inside of you. On the one hand, you're very much looking forward to and wanting new energy, new experiences, new connections, new opportunities, all of that to come into your life. It's almost like you are ready to have something pleasant, have something good, have something that would make you happy and bring this, like sense of new life back into your reality. But on the other hand, there is something that is like clawing at you almost, or something that is like dragging you back to either what you've already had to let go of, or what you are sort of stuck in right now, but that you should really let go of. And I do more strongly feel that for at least most of you, it's something that you have already like either lost, walked away from, or something that has walked away from you, or it's not present in your life anymore. Like we were looking at with the coffin card here, something has been released. And so I feel like it's such an interesting energy, because that side of you that still wants to like cling on, or that can't really make peace with what has been, like what has happened, what has been going on, it seems like that part of you feels almost slighted, or it feels like you have been done wrong somehow. Because we have this she who avenges, revenge outcomes justice, and whatever this outcome is that has taken place, it seems that you're not happy with it. You don't feel that it was fair, or again, it almost seems like you feel like this has been somehow either like forced on you, or it hasn't really been in your control. Especially with the servant card here too, it's like I'm getting the message that whatever this is that you lost, whether it was a job, whether it was a relationship, whether it was, whatever, it feels like you put so much of yourself into it. You gave so much of yourself to this thing and or to this person, and it seems like that wasn't really appreciated accordingly. Again, at least the way that you see things. And so you feel that the way that you were like dismissed, or the way that this thing ended, the situation closed out, it seems like you feel that you were owed something. That's why I feel like we have this unfinished symphony here too. You feel that there is something that you are owed, or something that wasn't quite fair, or you weren't treated quite fairly. And so there is a lot of like looking back energy. Even with this reflections card, I'm getting the sense that you were looking back on a lot of what has taken place. And it's almost like it's plaguing you in some way. Or like you're trying to make peace with it. You're trying to like find the good things with the milk and honey. I feel like, actually with this card, I kind of feel like a twofold message. On the one hand, it seems like you are trying to find the good things in the here and now, and you're trying to sort of have a positive outlook for the future. As I said, it seems like there is a part of you that is eager to look to the future. But then the other message that I'm feeling with this milk and honey is that as you're sort of looking back on the past, this almost has like a nostalgic vibe to it as well. How you're like possibly reminiscing on the good old days, or the things that were sort of better, or the things that were good, and the things that you were then deprived of, or that you don't have anymore. That's sort of the energy that I'm feeling. But with these cards here, I'm also feeling that, again, there's this almost this sense of like being tired, being worn out, or like energetically so exhausted, of feeling this sense of like injustice, or feeling like you were done wrong somehow, and wanting to like resolve the situation somehow. So yeah, that's what I feel. I feel this like sort of conflicting energy that you may be battling with. And I know that it's probably no consolation, but it is so normal to feel like you are drifting in space, and like you're weightless. You're like you don't know what is right and what is wrong, because there is a part of you that is like still stuck in the old, and still having a hard time making sense and making peace with, and fully like closing that chapter out. But then the other part of you is somewhat in the new energy, but you're not there fully yet. So, you know, it's like you're neither here nor there, and both places are like tearing at you. And so that's why I feel that you are possibly gravitating towards this coffin card as well, because it is that sort of more shadowy energy, that deep, dark, dank place that we need to go through so that we could finally bury some things that need to be buried. But the whole process is taxing. The whole process is exhausting and draining, and it's very, very heavy energy to go through. But that's what I feel like you are going through right now, pile 2. So if this is what you are resonating with, then keep on watching, because we are going to see now from these tarot cards what Spirit wants you to keep doing, where you are on the right track regarding this situation, and what you should possibly reconsider. So let's see. Okay. We have Judgment in reverse. That's that like rebirth energy right there. But yeah, unfinished business. We have Wheel of Fortune in reverse as well. And we have the 6 of Cups. Okay, interesting. Yeah, see, that's the nostalgic vibe that I was talking about with the milk and honey. Okay, we also have the 6 of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the 3 of Wands. Okay, a lot of wand energy. Okay, so let's focus on the first part first. We have Judgment reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and the 6 of Cups. So these cards are talking about what Spirit wants you to sort of continue, or where you are on the right track. Now, as I was saying with this Judgment reversed, unfinished business, that's what I'm feeling with this card. And even with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's like things are sort of put on hold, or things are slowed down, or there's no progress can really be made right now because something has not been dealt with properly, or there is something that is not fully ready to be released yet. And I do feel like that's that part of you that feels, again, that feels slighted, that feels like you have been done some sort of injustice, or you haven't gotten what you really deserve. And so with the Six of Cups here, again, this is also talking about the past. It's about past energy. But it's also talking about making peace with something or someone, making amends, apologizing, or sort of smoothing out relations. And I do feel that Spirit is saying that that's really important, that that happens before you can really move on. Because whoever is tangled up in this situation that you no longer have in your life, but that is still weighing heavy on you, there needs to be some sort of like, again, making amends or making peace with that person or with that situation. Again, if you don't, if this whole situation is so painful for you that you are not able to connect with that person who you did, or who you feel did you wrong in some way, or if it's just not possible to get in contact with them or whatever, then at least it's important for you to make that peace within yourself, within your heart, and try and find ways to forgive that situation or forgive that person, at least to the extent that you can finally let this thing go, so that it wouldn't, again, plague you, so that you wouldn't keep coming back to it and sort of seeing yourself as like being done wrong in some way, because that's the energy that forces you into the mentality of like victimhood. And that is really, really disempowering energy. That is the kind of energy that makes you feel weak, that makes you feel helpless, that makes you feel like you are incapable of changing things and doing something about your life. And so that's why it's advisable to do everything you can to break out of that energy as quickly as possible. And so that's why I feel like the Six of Cups is here. It's not saying that you need to actually physically get together with the person who hurt you or that you feel hurt you, and like forgive them or sort things out with them in person. It's not necessary. This is the Suit of the Cups. This is emotion. So the most important thing is that you reach this resolution inside of your emotional state, inside of your own heart, so that this wheel could start turning again, so that this rebirth, this death and rebirth process with Judgment can finally finalize. So that's what I feel like Spirit is saying that you should keep doing, because there is clearly something here that needs to be addressed, and then you can move on. Now, looking at the Six of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Three of Wands, this is the energy that Spirit is wanting you to reconsider. And with the Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands, this is sort of feeling to me a bit like acting off of ego. And because the Queen of Wands is not reversed, so it's in no way like toxic or unhealthy ego or anything like that. So there's nothing wrong with that, let's just say. But it does seem like there is an element of pride here with the Six of Wands and the Queen of Wands, almost like you are wanting to be the victor, or be the one who like shows someone else up at the end of this. Again, this energy of like wanting revenge, right? Wanting to leave someone else in the dirt, or in the position where they probably like feel like a loser, or you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is saying that that's really possibly not the best way to go about it, because I don't think that it's actually going to give you the satisfaction that you are actually wanting. So yeah, I feel like pride is something to sort of be mindful of, and especially when it comes to this Three of Wands, because this Three of Wands is about like expansion and growth and sort of moving on from where you are. And so this is almost telling me a story of brushing something under the rug or putting on a brave front, and out of pride, like leaving things unresolved or moving forward without actually like addressing the situation. You know, I feel like Spirit is not really advising you to do that. As I said, there is this part of you that is ready to like move on, that is ready to embrace the new, and I see that with the Three of Wands here too. But with these two cards here, I'm feeling that like that desire to move forward is possibly not coming from the best place right now, because as I said, there is like some emotional attachment to the past that still exists within you, and that is still very much creating some like negative energies and possibly like brewing some stuff, so that at any given moment those emotions can be triggered and sort of resurface again and start like negatively affecting or compromising where you want to go. So again, with this unfinished symphony, something needs to be closed out first so that you can move forward. And just like putting on a brave front and pretending like everything is fine, pretending like you're over it, pretending like it doesn't really even matter to you, or you're better than this, or you know, whatever, I feel like that is not the best way to go about it. And that's why Spirit is pointing that out here, to not move forward without truly resolving the issue, and to not let your pride sort of take over. And this is a more specific message, but truly for those of you who may actually be contemplating some sort of revenge, wanting to like get back at the other person who did something to you, wanting to sort of leave them in like shame or pay them back somehow, you know, that type of energy. I feel like this is also something that Spirit is like cautioning you against, to not stoop to that level, to not get tangled up in that like negative energy, because that is really, really bad karma. and it's really like not necessary. There is balance in life, there is balance in the universe, and things will always balance out in the end. So yeah, this is just something to reconsider. But anyway, those are the messages that that I had for you, or that Spirit had for you, I should be more specific. And now we're going to close the reading out with this last oracle card, and this is going to be advice from Spirit to you regarding this current situation. Okay, so we have seer, vision, intuition, and you officially have 3 6s now. Oh, actually 4, because we also had number 51 with milk and honey, which reduces down to 6. But yeah, we have 6 of cups, 6 of wands, and now we have the number 6 here. So this says vision, intuition. So it does tell me that again, that reason why something is like gnawing at you, I feel like that is your intuition, that is your gut instinct telling you that you're not ready to move on, even if there is another part of you, possibly your ego, that is waiting for this new thing to come in, new energy to come in, and just wanting to leave everything behind. But I feel like a deeper part of you knows, and that's why we are getting these 2 very, very big energies here, these 2 major arcanas here, that are indicating that something is not quite finished yet. Whereas this is all like ego, this is all like that solar plexus energy, pretty much. This is the one suit, right? So that's what this this energy is I can't speak, sorry, acting from. Whereas this is saying that yeah, something much more deep has some significance first that needs to be dealt with. So don't get blinded by that ego that may be making a lot of noise in you. But anyway, I also want to read from the guidebook here as well. This is the Goddess Spirit Oracle deck. And so let's see what the message is. So the Seer card represents the third eye chakra. And as it says, vision, intuition. Trust your intuition, your third eye. Connect with what you sense, not what you see with your human eyes. Like the seer who sees all, knows all, and embodies all, you are an open channel. When you open your third eye chakra, you receive wisdom from your higher self. You feel enlightenment and connection, and your world becomes magical and vibrant. Insight will come from all directions. When it's blocked, you feel uncertain, unclear, and unable to focus and sense what is happening around you. And then there is also a little mantra that says, I trust my intuition and connection to my higher self. So yeah, as it says, it's very important to connect to that intuitive side of yours and really see where it's leading you, what you are sort of supposed to do right now. Because again, with this transformative energy, with this changing energy, it's very hard to actually see something because possibly new energy hasn't arrived yet. And so very difficult to make sense of things with your logical mind, with your rational mind. And so yeah, that's why Spirit is sort of indicating that you would actually benefit a lot from tuning into your inner wisdom and connecting to your higher self and letting that sort of insight and wisdom be the guiding force for you right now to help you push through this situation and finally resolve the energies that need to be resolved before you can move on in peace. But wow, okay, what a reading, pile 2. This was quite a, this was quite something. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope that it wasn't too heavy and that it still gave you something useful to consider, ponder, that type of thing. And if this was your reading and if you actually found it helpful, please do let me know. You can give me a thumbs up. It would help my channel out immensely. You can also leave me a comment down in the comment section, just if you want to sort of let me know more personally that this was your pile and that this was your message and it resonated and all of that. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe if you haven't done that already, but if you want to hang out in the future. That's it. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves. Any information that you need is in the description box down below. And yeah, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. I hope that you're all doing really well and that you're ready for this reading. I am super excited, so let's get straight to it. You chose this Lenormand card, which is number 20, and which in the Lenormand system is called the Garden, or I'm actually not sure what it's called in this specific deck. This is the Celtic Lenormand, so the depictions are slightly different and some of the card names are slightly different too. But in traditional Lenormand systems, this is called the Garden. And what this actually represents is like a public gathering, some sort of space where people come together, where certain like communities join up, or societies, groups, that type of thing. It's also an energy of like special events or social events, concerts, plays, that type of thing. It's very much all about like people coming together and like enjoying each other's company in a social setting, in like a public space. So what this card is telling me about your current situation, pile number 3, is that you may have a lot of like events or things happening right now. You may have like a lot of invitations to parties, weddings, graduations, certain like special events, celebrations, that type of thing. Or it may also be that you are just very much in that space where you want to like go out and party a lot. That may also be it. So this card in like tarot terms would be like the 4 of Wands, I would say. and possibly also like the Three of Cups in a sense. So like merging those two cards together, I would say, gives you the garden energy. So yeah, this is actually like a very nice, a very festive, a very joyful energy generally. Again, it is always affected by other cards, but just on its own, that's the vibe of the garden. So yeah, that's what I can sort of sense and glean from this card that you chose. But we are going to dive a lot deeper now. We are going to look at a bunch of oracle cards to give us an understanding of what you feel that you're currently going through. So these cards are going to describe your current situation, but through your own personal perception. So hopefully that will help you to resonate with the reading more easily and see whether this is actually talking about you. Okay, so we are starting off with number 48, Poised. Hang on, I need to, let's see if I can, yeah, probably needs a bit more light now. Anyway, sorry. Okay, we also have God, with the light attributes being benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others, and the shadow attributes being despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. She who grants wishes, wish desires hope. And we have Imrama, wonder voyage, crossing deep waters, pilgrimage, journey of the soul. She who loved once, fragile, secret love, rejection. Interesting. We have Milky Way, perspective, and building blocks. Okay. Pile 3. Interesting energy that I'm feeling here. I'm getting the energy that the reason why this garden card is representing this pile is because you are now in a space where you are ready to put yourself out there again, where you are recovered somewhat from the past experiences, from the past pains, from the past disappointments, from the past lessons that you have experienced, either in like romantic love specifically, or simply like relationships in a broader sense, where you have put yourself out there and possibly where you haven't been fully accepted as yourself, or you have experienced some ridicule, or you haven't found that like true acceptance, true respect, true friendship with someone, because that's love too. Let us not forget. There are all sorts of different forms of love, and there has possibly been a long time where you have kept more to yourself and where you have worked through some of the negative feelings and hurts and wounds that you have experienced, especially like we had here with this blue card with fragile, secret love, and rejection. So it seems like you have done a lot of work on yourself with this Imrama card too, and you have gained a lot of perspective. You have sort of gone through and dove deep into yourself, into the situation, and really made sense of things for yourself, and really like built up your confidence, built up your sense of self, so that it wouldn't be as fragile as like someone else's opinion or someone else's feelings having the power to like tumble you, or having the power to break you down. So it definitely has been a very, I feel like, lengthy and a very serious process. But I do feel that you have arrived at a place where you are starting to like have hope again, where you're starting to feel more confident, feel like you're ready to take on new experiences, new people, just like we had with the garden card, right? With this social energy, that like gathering with people and really enjoying yourself. Like that side of you seems to have come out more. And because you have done all of this work on yourself, because you have worked through this past stuff that was literally in your like emotional and energetic space, you're now much more confident and you're much more willing and much more brave to actually show yourself off the way that you are. And possibly with like people either not understanding you, or you not feeling like you are truly accepted for you, or possibly if this was like a romantic thing and you had like romantic loving feelings for someone that didn't reciprocate those feelings to you, then possibly that situation made you like lose faith in love, or made you lose faith in finding like a true connection and wanting to even open up to anyone again. But with this she who grants wishes, wish, desires, and hope, it seems that now you are at this space where you are starting to have hope again, when you're starting to feel like it's possible to find that sort of connection with someone. Like we had this with benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. It seems that there has been some sort of like, almost like a spiritual awakening, or some sort of like upgrade that you have gone through that has radically shifted the way that you see yourself, the way that you see and experience the world at large, how you make sense of life. It seems that there has been a radical shift there. And I feel like that has helped you to sort of come out of your shell more and start seeing other people as like flawed and imperfect and insecure and all of those things too. Sort of being able to like come out of your own personal perspective and having a broader sense of things, being able to zoom out, right? Like with the Milky Way here. And I feel like all of that, doing all of that, has allowed you to really build a much more solid foundation for yourself. So again, so that you wouldn't be as easily swayed and as easily toppled by other people's influence. So this is actually really, really sweet energy. It almost feels like hopeful and excited, eager to like get out there, eager to meet people. Even with this dolphin card here, dolphins, the energy of the dolphins to me is always like one of joy, of happiness, of pleasure, of just like living in the moment and appreciating life and just being happy with what is. And it's almost like that childlike energy, being very playful and very like willing to explore and try things. So yeah, I feel like you have bounced back, baby. That's what I feel like your energy is at right now. But anyway, let's look at the tarot cards. So if you recognize this story, or if you resonate with this, then keep on watching, because we're now going to look at what spirit wants you to keep doing, where you are on the right track, and also what you may want to reconsider. So let's see. The Empress, beautiful. Okay, the Ace of Wands, amazing. And the Star, oh my God. I was just looking at this card and thinking how it reminds me of the Star card, because wish, desires, and hope, like hope, that's exactly what the Star card traditionally stands for. So I love seeing that here. This is like a massive green light from the universe. And now let's look forward to what you should reconsider. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse, the Ten of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Swords. Okay, so let's start off with where you are on the right track. And I absolutely love the cards that you got, pile 3. We have the Empress, the Ace of Wands, and the Star. And I mean, like, I feel like I don't really even have to talk about these cards for too long, because they are essentially everything that we were just talking about. How you are sort of in a space where you are ready to open yourself up again, ready to embrace new opportunities, new exciting offers or possibilities, really gaining back your hope and belief in true love and like being in that loving and nurturing space again. The Empress is telling me that that's exactly where you are. I feel like this is very strongly representing your energy, whether you are female, whether you are male, whether you are anything in between, doesn't matter at all. We're not talking about gender. The Empress is just that beautiful, fertile, abundant, loving, oozing that gentleness and soft and caring energy. It's beautiful, beautiful energy. And it's also oozing confidence. The Empress is very, very sure of herself. The Empress knows what she's worth. The Empress knows that she doesn't have to graft, that she doesn't have to change her ways to please anyone. She just is who she is. She is safe and secure in herself. She knows what she brings to the table. She knows how much she is capable of and how much she can actually create. And so even with all of the stars on her crown and the stars over here, I mean, it's like she knows that she can create and she can have what she most desires, what she wishes and hopes for. She knows that. And so what Spirit is saying is that you're very much on the right track about this attitude of yours right now. This openness, this willingness to try new things with the Ace of Wands, this willingness to be vulnerable and exposed with the Star. Just, again, putting yourself out there. That's what Spirit is saying that you're on the right track about. And believing that having that sort of love, having that sort of appreciation and acceptance is possible. Because it is. So I really love seeing that. But now, looking at these three cards, we have the Seven of Cups reversed, the Ten of Cups reversed, and the Ace of Swords. Again, this is what you should reconsider according to Spirit. Now, the interesting thing here that I noticed straight off the bat is that we have the 7 and the 10 right next to each other. And in between those two cards is the Three of Cups. But because it's reversed, it also feels like the Three of Cups is reversed too. And what was I saying about the Garden card? It's reminding me of the Four of Wands mixed in with the Three of Cups. And now I feel like with both of these cards, what Spirit is saying is to sort of possibly be mindful of the parting, or like possibly going overboard with that in search of something that would like make you feel good, or something that would allow you to like prop up your confidence again. I don't know why I'm feeling that with the Ace of Swords, but it's almost like this feels to me like an agenda almost that you may have, either consciously or subconsciously. But it's like, this to me feels a bit like ego as well. And I honestly don't know why, but it just feels like there may be an aspect of you trying to prove something, or you wanting to prove something. And so I feel like that's something that Spirit wants you to like be cautious about. So use your head, be very like mindful of the amount of partying that you're doing and the crowds that you are getting involved with, and whether they are actually giving you the sort of vibe and energy that you are truly ready to give yourself. So just, I feel like use your discernment is one thing that I want to say with the Ace of Swords. But the other thing that I feel like Spirit is saying here is that be careful not to go into this like social putting myself out there type of energy with the intention of being successful straight away, because it may be that you need to like go through several different like people connections, acquaintances or meetings or dates or something like that are like complete duds that lead nowhere, that show you that that person is not for you. And if you go into that sort of like meeting people scene or putting yourself out there scene with the mindset of needing to find the right person for you very soon, or needing to be successful very soon, it may sort of like have the negative effect of like throwing you back into that space where you start like doubting things, or where you start like having doubts about whether the right person is there for you to begin with. Like it can kind of throw you into that space a bit. So just be careful with that, because I feel like it's not going to be a very straightforward and a very quick journey for you where like you're going to meet the right person straight away. So be mindful of your expectations, be mindful of sort of what you're setting yourself up for. And again, I just feel like being open-minded is a very, very important aspect here, especially with all of these cards. It feels like you just be receptive, like the Empress and the Star. Just be receptive, be open, and see what like what sort of comes to you, or what reveals itself to you, what shows itself to you, and sort of like go off of that. But yeah, this Ace of Swords, I'm not really vibing it, because it kind of makes me feel of like a conquest, or some sort of yeah, I guess a conquest is like the best way to say it. That's a very like forceful energy here, and it doesn't really sit too well with me. So just be mindful of your intentions, and be mindful of what you are sort of expecting. And also, just to kind of add to that last point, if you meet people who don't necessarily like match your vision of the future, or match your like dream vision, I feel like with the Ace of Swords, you may feel a desire or a need to like cut them off very quickly. Yeah, like eliminate them somehow. But I feel like Spirit is saying is that don't like dismiss people too quickly if they don't match like your version of your ideal of what you're looking for. Because again, I feel like there may be a lot for you to experience, or a lot for you to learn along the way of getting to your person, and it may all be valuable. So again, I feel like open-mindedness may be a good idea, so that your walls wouldn't go up very quickly, or that you wouldn't jump back into that protective mode or shut down mode. But anyway, yeah, that's the sort of messages of like your current situation, and what Spirit had to say. But we're going to close the reading out with a last oracle card as advice from Spirit to you. So let's see what Spirit says. Of course. Oh my god, why am I not surprised that we're actually getting a love card now? Because yeah, that's what this reading has been really about. So we have number 14, Kuan Yin, love, compassion, unity. Again, we're getting the keyword of compassion. So having that like open heart, open mind, and not dismissing, not judging, not I'm not saying not to have like standards and not to be discerning about who you like interact with and who you end up like involving yourself with. Of course, use your discernment and all that, but just be mindful of what space that discernment is coming from, whether it's coming from a place of like fear of being hurt again, or whether it's coming from a place of just knowing that that person's energy does not vibe with yours, and you don't want that type of energy in your sphere, right? So having that type of discernment is really what we're talking about here. So okay, I also want to read from the Goddess Spirit Oracle deck guidebook. That's where this oracle card is from. And yeah, so let's see what Spirit is saying to you. So let's read. So the equivalent of this card in tarot is the Lovers, and the pantheon is Buddhist, Taoist, and Asian. Love, compassion, unity. When Kuan Yin heard the cries of humanity, instead of entering heaven, she returned to earth to remain until all beings become enlightened. Kuan Yin is a goddess of love, compassion, cooperation, kindness, harmony, and partnership. She is sometimes thought of as the female Buddha. An important friendship or romantic relationship may be present. You may share beliefs and values and have a feeling of soul connection. Self-love and honoring others' dreams are vital for achieving balance. Self-respect creates strong foundations. Oh my God. And we were talking about foundations with the building blocks here too. And the mantra says, through self-love and honoring my dreams, I see and give unconditional love to others. Yeah, so as I said, it's clear that there is an intention or a desire to meet someone and to like open yourself up to love again. And I feel like Spirit is really commending you on it and sort of encouraging you to follow that path. But to, again, not to lose sight of your own boundaries, to not lose sight of your own values, but at the same time still have compassion and an open heart towards other people. Not to be too narrow-minded and dismissive about opinions and beliefs and values that don't align with your own. So just really embrace this time and this energy, and I feel like you will actually learn a lot from it. So yeah, just see what comes up for you and enjoy the ride, pile 3. That's all I have to say. But this was your reading. I'm going to close it out here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this resonated and that it spoke to you. If it's the case, then definitely let me know. You can leave me a comment down in the comment section saying that you chose this pile and that it resonated. Or you can also just give me a thumbs up. It would help my channel out immensely. So thank you if you take the time to do that. And finally, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already, but if you would like to hang out with me in the future and do more of these readings together. But yeah, if I don't see you in any of the other piles, any information that you need is in the description box down below. So check that out if you're interested. And other than that, I hope to see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 4. I hope that you are all doing well, and I am very excited to get into your reading. So you chose this card from the Lenormand card system. This is the Snake card. And in this specific deck, which is the Celtic Lenormand, there are actually 2 versions of this card. And this version is the one that talks more about transformations and renewal. As you can see, the snake is shedding its skin. And yeah, and it also sort of, because of the sort of the twisty, windy way that the snake is moving, it also symbolizes like sort of twists and turns and like very complicated sort of shifts and changes. So this transformation or this renewal that you're going through is definitely one that like probably takes a long time or has taken a long time, and that has been very like unexpected and brought a lot of surprises that possibly haven't really been too positive or haven't been too welcome and too easy to deal with. So yeah, the Snake card is more of a difficult card in the Lenormand system, but this is a more mild version of it in my eyes, at least. So that's what I feel like you have been dealing with or are currently dealing with. And that you may be sort of struggling with the changes that are currently happening in your life, or you may be struggling with even if they're not necessarily like external changes, you may be struggling with the person that you are becoming, or the sort of inner shifts and realizations that you have sort of come to or arrived at. So yeah, whatever the specific scenario is for you in your personal life, it seems that you're sort of you're sort of struggling a bit right now, and things are very much unstable. Things are very much being like reviewed or renewed, and especially within yourself. I feel like this is more of this like self transformation process rather than like everything around you shifting. So yeah, in tarot terms, this feels more like the Death card rather than the Tower card, you know, if that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on to the not tarot cards, but the oracle cards first. And these cards are going to give us a more sort of specific description of your current reality or the current situation that you're dealing with. And these cards are going to be more specifically from the personal perspective of you. So how you view your current reality to be. So let's see. Yeah, okay, we're starting off with To the Sea with number 7. Oh, again, we had number 7 here. The snake card is number 7 in Lenormand. And you had 7 here. Okay, we also have Mentor with the light attribute being passing on wisdom and refining a student's character, and the shadow attributes being inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. Interesting. Okay. We also have She Who Forgives, remorse, guilt, forgiveness. And we have the Present, gift, treasure, revelation of own value, nowness. Wow, revelation of own value. Yeah, that is very heavily speaking of that snake energy to me. She Who Emerges, enlightenment, mindfulness, rise up. Wow, yeah. Okay, we also have Lotus Flower Enfoldment. And finally, why am I not surprised? New Life with number 39. Another 12, by the way. It reduces down to 12 and we had 12 here. So you have 12, 12, 7 and 7. So pile number 4. The first thing I actually want to say is that it's really interesting that as I was like thinking of tarot cards that this snake card reminds me of, I was talking of the Death card and how it's more of the Death card rather than the Tower card. But another card that like popped up in my mind but that I didn't really feel like saying at the time was the Hanged Man. Because the Hanged Man is also one of like changing internally, right? Receiving some sort of new information, leveling up in one's awareness and in one's like energetic vibration, becoming enlightened. That's literally the energy of the Hanged Man. It's interesting that we're getting the pair of number 12s here, and sort of that reminded me of that Hanged Man energy, and I felt like I definitely have to mention the Hanged Man because the 12s, that's what they signal to me. Anyway, coming back to the actual energy of these cards. So it's kind of interesting that I feel like this is the first pile where pretty much all of the cards are coming together to form a very concrete and very specific message. And to me, this is exactly what this is talking about. The whole energy here seems to point to you going through some sort of inner transformation and now emerging as a new version of yourself. Especially looking at the She Who Forgives, remorse, guilt, forgiveness, it seems that like you have gone through a period of making peace with the past, making peace with the self that you used to be, the decisions and the mistakes that you made when you didn't know any better. And just really coming to a very like mature space within yourself where you're not blaming yourself, where you're not blaming others, you're not blaming life, and you're not getting stuck in that like victim mode of feeling helpless and like life has been so unfair and so unjust to you and all of that. You are not getting stuck in that type of energy at all. You are either working through your past burdens and the past like lingering pains and lessons and all of that right now, or you have already done that. Because either way, it seems that that's the direction that you are in and that's your focus right now. And with this mentor card, I actually feel like I'm not really even like focusing on the attributes that this card is talking about. I just feel like this mentor archetype is where you yourself are arriving at. It seems that you are becoming almost like a mentor, or you are leveling up in your awareness, in your understanding, in your emotional maturity. Because with this To the Sea card, it definitely feels like there is something that you have left behind, something that you have had to walk away from. And there is no turning back. That's what I feel like. There's no turning back. You can't go back to the way that you were. You can't go back to the way that things were in your life. You can't unsee the things that you have now seen, or the things that you have now realized, or come to know about yourself or about other people, about what you want your life to be. So there is a new you that is emerging. I mean, all of these cards here are talking about a new you emerging, showing off yourself in your authentic colors and truly revealing a much more like confident sense of self, a much more self-aware sense of self. Really valuing yourself for who you are and not being afraid to show it off in the best way possible. I feel like you understand the gift and the treasure of your past experiences, how they have turned you into the person that you are today, and how valuable they have been in teaching you everything that you know. Yeah, this is just a journey of you revealing your new self and starting to embrace the new you, starting to embrace the changes that you have gone through internally, and really beginning to exercise them outside of you now too. Really transferring them to your external reality, to your relationships, to your career path, to your life direction, to your goals and dreams and wishes. And you may possibly even be taking on the role of the mentor for other people, like sharing what you have learned, expressing your story somehow, or like telling your story of what you've been through, of your journey to who you are today. Because possibly there is something that others can really learn and benefit from you sharing your story, you sharing what you now know, the mistakes that you have made, the things that you have experienced. So really cool. But anyway, if you resonate with this part, if you recognize yourself, and if you are exactly where these cards are saying that you are, so coming into this new you, let's move on to the tarot cards, because this reading is clearly your reading in that case. And we're now going to look at the tarot cards, which are more specifically going to talk about where you are on the right track according to Spirit and what you should reconsider. So let's see. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords. Wow, the Nine of Swords. And the Five of Wands. Okay. Interesting. And we have the Three of Cups, the Chariot reversed, and the Ten of Swords reversed. Okay. Okay, so let's first look at the energy that is describing where you are on the right track, what Spirit is saying that you should keep doing. We have the Three of Swords with the Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands. Now, all of these cards are pretty tough. As I said, with the Snake card as well, I was getting the sense that you are struggling, or that it has taken a long time, and it is still taking a long time. It has been a winding, very like twisty and turny road to get to where you are. And I can definitely see that reflected in the cards here. I mean, these are by no means easy, frolicky, rainbows and sunshines and unicorns type of energy. But what I do see here is that with the Five of Wands, it's it's crucial that you keep resolving these lingering pains and these lingering past issues or hurts or lessons, painful lessons that you have gone through, and that you keep fighting against those, like ruling your present, ruling your life, or somehow dragging you down. Because between the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords, there is a Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is an energy of moving forward. It's an energy of improvements. It's an energy of leaving something behind, just like with this card, to the sea. Just like with this card. It's vital to leave something behind and go and explore something new. Even if it's scary, even if it's difficult, it's better to leave behind, to leave the choppy waters behind and go and find something that would be more in alignment with what you are desiring and who you are becoming. But even on this To the Sea card, like you can kind of see how the woman or the fairy is like, her head is down and she's not happy about it. It's not it's not like a joy ride. There's nothing easy and simple about the Six of Swords, even though it is a good thing. And essentially it's taking you to a better place. There's nothing easy and enjoyable about it. So that's why I feel like Spirit is saying to keep pushing forward, to keep fighting those demons, to keep overcoming those negative impulses, those painful memories and those triggers that may still be active for you. Because even though as you are turning this new leaf, as you are becoming a new self, and as you are making peace with the past, it's an ongoing process. And so I feel like Spirit is actually condoning you massively for facing that stuff, for not dusting it under the rug and trying to almost like override this pain or ignore it and just simply move on. You are actually dealing with it. You are actually doing some shadow work, I feel like. You are actually digging through some painful past stuff so that you could finally relieve yourself of it. So this is really, really beautiful and very necessary energy. This even feels to me like a bit like depression, if I'm completely honest, the 3 and the 9 together like this. It kind of feels like depression. So you may have been fighting or battling with depression, or battling with like low self-esteem or low self-worth or something like that. And but the 5 of Wands, I'm loving the 5 of Wands so much here. I can't even explain. This to me is saying that you're fighting for it. You're fighting against the thoughts. You're fighting to overcome the thoughts. You're fighting to restore peace, to restore calm, to restore love and harmony and appreciation and confidence. So I love that this is here, because this is by no means like, this is you not giving up. And I really love that. And again, Spirit is saying you are on the right track. Keep doing it. But now moving towards these 3 cards here, which are talking about what you should reconsider, or what you may want to reconsider. It's your life. You can do whatever the hell you want. We have the 3 of Cups, the Chariot reversed, and the 10 of Swords reversed. And now what this is telling me is that there may be temptations to go back to some things that you have already distanced yourself from, that you have sort of tried and seen that they don't work for you, or that you have simply like washed your hands from, pretty much. This to me is like something just that deserves to be like past and buried and not dug up anymore. But the 3 of Cups is a card of reconciliation. It's a card of coming together. And I feel like this is sort of warning you or cautioning you against going back to something that you have long ago buried, long ago said goodbye to. If there are any sort of temptations dragging you back to past painful experiences, people, connections, places, triggers, stuff like that. Be very, very mindful of getting tangled up in those, because I do feel like they may have a very, very powerful impact and like kind of set you back on your journey immensely. And the other thing I feel like saying here with the Three of Cups and the Chariot in reverse is that if you are feeling tempted to indulge and possibly like escape, do some escapism, try and like drown out the painful process of this transformation that you're going through, which again is absolutely understandable. I don't want you to feel like this is in any way a criticism or judgment or anything like that. It's human. It's human to not want to suffer, to not want to deal with the draining, the negative, the painful, and all of that. But I feel like, again, it's one of those things that Spirit just wants you to be mindful of, to not get stuck in that energy too much to the point where you possibly lose sight of what it is that you're doing, right? Because the sooner you face those demons, the sooner you work through that shadowy energy that is still clinging to you, and the sooner you are able to like fully shed that skin that you are in the process of shedding, the sooner you can turn to this new life, the sooner you can free yourself from that like draining energy and actually start really enjoying your new reality, start really making your dreams come true and making choices, making decisions from a lot more aware and mindful space, so that you wouldn't repeat the past mistakes and drag that loop back into place. So yeah, just be mindful of escaping that like negative space and wanting to ignore that those lessons and those things that you are doing to fight those painful feelings and memories and thoughts and all of that may be rising up in you. So yeah, pile 4, I 100% empathize with you. I realize that what you're going through is difficult. It's hard work. It's very, very difficult stuff. But I feel like drowning it out is not going to be any sort of solution. It's just going to drag the process on even longer. But in general, it's amazing what you're doing. It's amazing that you are facing those demons, that you are fighting to become the best version of yourself that you possibly can, that you're fighting to release yourself from the binding past, from the unhealthy patterns and dynamics and triggers and all of that you are currently working through. It's amazing that you're doing that. And I feel like Spirit is very much acknowledging what you're doing. And just know that not everyone, actually, I feel like there are actually very few people who are willing to do what it takes to better themselves and to break themselves free of their past dynamics, of their past sort of like automatic behavioring. So you should be really, really, really proud of yourselves. But anyway, we're going to close the reading out with a last oracle card from Spirit. I'm also going to read from the guidebook for this, but this is going to be advice from Spirit to you. Okay, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name because I know that I will absolutely butcher it. But oh my god, how crazy that is. There is actually a snake. There is a snake that is coming out of her hair as well. So clearly snake energy is very symbolic and very important to you right now. You may be actually seeing snakes, or you may be there may be like symbology of snakes that keeps like cropping up around you or something like that. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that, because I feel like that's another way of like Spirit reassuring you that that they are there, and that, you know, you are going through a very, very necessary and vital process. But anyway, the message on this card says healing, magic, and restoration. I think I said renewal. So yeah, it's not really like the same word as restoration, but Yeah, this is clearly an energy of you healing the past. Again, with all of this energy, this is yucky, very, very heavy and draining energy. So yeah, this is definitely indicative of the struggle that you were going through and that I was feeling with the snake card. But you were doing an amazing job, and again, this healing process is so, so vital. So it's amazing. But anyway, I'm quickly going to read from the guidebook too. So this card is representative of the last quarter moon, and the pantheon is Mayan or Mesoamerican. Healing, magic, restoration. Okay. Ishel, I hope that I didn't say it too wrong, is the powerful medicine woman, midwife, weaver, and moon goddess. She brings healing energy. The last quarter moon is a powerful time for inner healing. Focus on replacing the negative energy of any situation with its positive aspects. Let go and release that which does not serve you during this lunar phase. If you feel drawn to Earth's healing remedies and shamanic teachings, Ishel will guide you. You may feel drawn to develop and share your healing powers. Oh my God, that's that mental energy that I was talking about. Exactly, to develop and share your healing powers. So actually share with people what you have learned and what you now know. And the mantra of this card is, I connect with powerful healing magic. So there you go, pile 4. You are definitely in the process of being transformed, being renewed, being restored, being shaken up and loosened up from that past pain so that you can move forward with a more lighthearted and free energetic space. And also I feel like you are learning so much through that process that you, as I said, you may actually take on this mentor energy for someone else and start sharing what it is that you know. So yeah, I do feel that there is actually a lot of good that is going to come from you going through this healing process. But anyway, sorry, I feel like I have dragged this reading on for way too long. I'm sorry, pile 4. But this energy I feel it like sucking me in and dragging me down. It is very, very dense energy. So yeah, again, well done, pile 4, for dealing with it. You are an absolute champ and you should be so proud of yourself, because I know I am. Thank you for watching. If this reading spoke to you, if this resonated, I would love it if you let me know. You can leave me a comment in the comment section saying that you chose this pile and that it resonated. You can also give me a thumbs up. It would help my channel out immensely. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already, and if you want to hang out with me in the future and do more of these cool readings together. They won't all be this serious, I promise. But yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you very soon in my next one. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, and any information that you need is in the description box, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. But yeah, take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 5. I hope that you are excited for your reading and that you are, sorry, I couldn't get hold of it, and that you are ready for the messages. So you chose this Lenormand card. I can't speak, so if I mumble and do weird things, that's why. So you chose this Lenormand card, and this card is known as the mice card. And as cute as these little mice look on the picture, this is not actually the most nice card. It's not necessarily like, I don't want to make you feel like this is a bad card or anything, but it's one of the more like annoying cards. The mice card represent nuisances. They represent something annoying that you have to deal with quite early on before they turn into bigger problems. Because as you can see, the mice they're just like eating away, they are gnawing away at things. So this card is representative of like slow degradation or slow corrosion, or things like slowly lessening or becoming damaged, or like that type of energy. That's the mice energy. So this can also of course be talking about like worrying and anxiety and like nervousness also. But yeah, this is more like classically talking of like disintegration, slow disintegration or diminishing of something. So what this card makes me feel, pile 5, is that I feel like something in your life is like slowly losing its value or slowly diminishing somehow. There may be like little things that are like eating away at you or eating away at this thing, this situation, or this circumstance. But it's like something is being undermined is kind of what I'm feeling. Whether this is talking about you and your own like confidence, sense of self, self-worth, feelings, like something like that, whether it's talking about something internally like that, or whether it's talking about something else. I actually feel more strongly that it's talking about something else, like something outside of you, either like a relationship you have with someone, or a business deal, an arrangement, your workplace, possibly even like your home or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's the energy of the mice card. So let's see now more specifically what you are actually dealing with. So we have these oracle cards which are going to describe to us what you're currently going through, but through the personal perception of you. So what you feel like you are currently dealing with. We have a leg up. Oh, we have damsel, with light attributes being understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself, and shadow attributes being waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. We also have she who frees, liberation, unrestrained freedom. We also have endurance. Oh, interesting. We have number 34 with a leg up, and now we have number 43. And this says endurance, keep going. We have she who aches, sadness, solitude, silent withdrawal. Lightning, power. Oh, and finally we have orphaned with number 5. Oh, pile 5. Oh, pile 5. So, first of all, I feel a very deep sense of lack of confidence or lack of self-belief. Like, looking at all of these cards just as a whole, it makes me feel like you have very little faith in yourself or very little belief in yourself that you can handle things by yourself. It almost seems like you believe that you definitely need someone else's help to succeed in life, to thrive. But the thing is, I'm seriously getting very strongly that like it's actually an illusion. It's actually not true that you are like completely helpless by yourself or something like that. I truly do feel like it's such an illusion. But clearly, I mean, you are having a hard time seeing it, and that's your reality. That's how you are seeing things right now. That's what these cards are reflecting, the way that you see your own reality, the way that you see your situation. And so the scenario that I'm getting here is that you may be in a relationship with someone who is you feel vital for your like success or survival or your ability to thrive. Someone who is supporting you in whatever capacity that is. Whether this is a romantic relationship and you're actually like living with that person and the person is supporting you like financially or emotionally, however, right? Or even if it's not a romantic relationship and it's just like a platonic relationship, there may be someone who you are relying on very heavily because you feel that you are somehow incapable of doing things by yourself, as we were already discussing. But the thing is, I feel like there is a very twisted power dynamic here. I feel like, and I don't want you to think that this is in any way a criticism, okay? I'm just describing what I'm seeing here, so no judgments. This is just the energy that I'm feeling. I'm getting that there is this like slight twist in the power dynamics, meaning that you may feel like completely neglected in some aspect of the relationship. Like there are some things that are not meeting your needs or wishes, your desires, but there is this other aspect which is forcing you to like keep going, to keep putting up with this thing, or to endure whatever the situation is, because you don't want to lose this support that is there, the way that this person is supporting you. Because especially with the she who aches, and with orphaned as well, there is a very strong energy of something that you feel that you're lacking, something that you're desperately missing, something that you are yearning for, that isn't being provided, or that isn't there. But for some reason I feel like you're not really opening up about it, and it's just like this mice energy. I feel like it's just slowly like eating away at you. And with the she who frees, and even with this lightning power, I do feel like there is an energy that is slowly like growing up in you, that is slowly building, again, like this mice, right, that is eating away at you, that is forcing you to like desire this sense of like wanting to break free, wanting to change the way that things are, wanting to set yourself free, wanting to break through this like construct that you find yourself in, that you feel so very limited by. But then there is this other side which feels like you can't do it. Like you want to, but you can't do it. But I do feel like this this energy that feels very like separate. There's one part which is feeling this like sense of helplessness, or feeling like you do need to rely on someone, or you do need someone to like help you, support you, provide for you, whatever it is, because you feel like you are unable to take care of yourself. And so this is that one part of you, but then the other part is the one that like wants to gain independence, that wants to stand on your own 2 feet, that wants to like break down those fears and those feelings of insecurity and feelings of inadequacy and all of that. Like I feel like that element that is wanting to break free, that is slowly starting to, that voice in you is slowly starting to like become louder and louder and louder. And I feel like because you are getting that voice, this construct, again, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a living arrangement, whether it's the school that you go to, whatever it is, I feel like it's slowly starting to like disintegrate, or the foundation is becoming like undermined, exactly like with the mice here. Something is losing its value, or something is losing its power, and it's because you are sort of starting to feel a lot more strongly how the sense of like powerlessness, or the sense of helplessness is too much for you. And I feel like this construct where you are relying on someone, and again, whatever capacity, I feel like that is sort of feeding into your belief that you are unable to take care of yourself, even though you really are. So yeah, I honestly see like something is building up, something is gaining momentum, something is almost like this lightning power card here. This like surge of energy is building. And I feel like once it reaches some sort of boiling point, and it will, I feel like it's just a matter of time with this mice card here. Something is in the process of being built up. And once that like breaking point comes, that's when I feel like radical shift is going to happen. Now, I don't want you to feel like scared or anything, because in truth, I actually feel like it's something that you really want. It's something that you are secretly hoping for. You're just not possibly there to, or there in your like inner security to actually like admit it, or to say it. But that's okay, because I feel like it's coming. But yeah, wow, very complex energies here, pile 5. Let's keep going. If you resonate with this story, then keep on watching. Okay, sorry, I just feel like I keep hearing personal power with this card. Personal power. So yeah, this sense of personal power, that's the thing that maybe like slowly, or the lack of personal power, I should say, that's the thing that like maybe at one point reaching a boiling point. Anyway, okay, so let's look at the tarot cards now. So we're first going to see where Spirit says that you are on the right track, and then we're going to see what Spirit wants you to reconsider. So let's see. Okay, we have the 7 of Wands, the 4 of Cups, and the Moon in reverse. Okay, and we have the Hierophant reversed, the Knight of Swords, and the Hanged Man in reverse. Okay. Let's start with the first 3 cards where, which are talking about where you're on the right track. We have the 7 of Wands, the 4 of Cups, and the Moon in reverse. And I love seeing the Moon in reverse because this is telling me that stuff that has been deeply buried in your subconscious, that has possibly been ruling the show and making you believe in your own sense of like helplessness or powerlessness, that seems to be sort of dug up, or that seems to be coming to the surface. You're starting to see things more clearly. I feel like that's the card here, the Moon reversed, which is describing this like building of that like personal power, or the feeling of lacking personal power and feeling like I've had enough. I can't be in this state anymore. I can't be in this construct anymore, part of this construct anymore. And I want to break out. That's what I feel like with the 4 of the 4 of Cups is saying here too. That is that like stalemate energy where your needs are not being met, where what is being offered to you, or like, yeah, basically what is being offered to you is not really what you want. With the 7 of Wands here, Spirit is saying to keep fighting, to keep like rebelling and pushing against this energy that is making you feel like dissatisfied, discontent, like to actually fight for what you want, to actually fight for what you need and for what you feel is important. This is like the 7 of Wands is all about like actually uncovering and breaking down those like false constructs. I feel like that's what these other ones are representing here. I feel like they are representing the false constructs that may be feeding into this belief that you have, that is like holding you back, or that is making you feel like you need someone else's help, or that you need someone else's support, when in truth you are more than capable of providing for yourself, looking out for yourself, and you don't have to depend on anyone else. That is just like a distorted part of your like subconscious or programming, or this is what has been ingrained in you because of conditioning, because of your past experiences, and it's not true. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is that keep building up that energy within you that is rebelling against this construct that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you feeling helpless. Keep like uncovering where the truth really is and why you are feeling this sense of like helplessness, and where that's coming from, so that you could recover your own personal power, because it's there. It is there. It just needs to be found. So keep pushing to overcome those fears and to overcome these illusions with the Moon, right? Remember, we were talking about illusions? Illusions of powerlessness. Keep fighting to overcome those. But now let's move on to these 3 cards. We have the Hierophant reversed, the Knight of Swords, and the Hanged Man in reversed. Okay, I'm getting like different messages here, so just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I am feeling very strongly that the Hierophant reversed is actually representing this construct that you are part of. And I feel like with the Knight of Swords and the Hanged Man in reverse, like the first thing that I'm feeling here is that you may be tempted to like almost destroy that construct, or to like break it down, or to like approach it way too aggressively once that like boiling point reaches its peak, right? With the Hanged Man reverse, once you sort of have this newfound like realization, or once something reaches its like once you reach a point of understanding that like urges you to move, that urges you to do something about the situation that you're in, you may be like desiring or feeling the urge to like go about it in a bit too aggressive manner. And I feel like Spirit is almost like sort of cautioning you to possibly like slow down, or to not fully like eradicate, or to not fully ride into this construct with like guns blazing, because I feel like you may end up ruining something that you don't actually want to ruin once you like calm down, and once that boiling point has simmered down. So just be mindful not to act from like an impulsive place, or from a very like heat of the moment place, because that's a real possibility, especially since something has been held back for such a long time. That's what I feel with this Lightning Power card. Something has been held back, like your personal power has been held back for such a long time that it may be explosive when you actually do like break out of that construct. But again, just be mindful, because you may end up burning some bridges that you don't really want to burn. The other thing that I'm feeling here is that the Hierophant in reverse can also be talking about sort of your deviation from the way that this construct has always been, right? You starting to do something differently. And this Knight of Swords may indicate that that's actually the other person who gets triggered by it, by you wanting to leave, or by you wanting to change the construct in some way. So with the Hanged Man in reverse, this also like cautions you against sort of pulling into a space where you try to, or where you like end up staying in the construct for longer than necessary because of this other person's reaction, because you possibly don't want to like disappoint that person, or you don't want to anger or upset that other person. So just be mindful of that again, that it may, like when this breaking point comes, and when you do end up deciding to leave that construct, or deciding to like change the dynamic that has been in place for such a long time, that it may cause a negative reaction, or a very aggressive like a blow up reaction from that other person. But just be mindful not to let that like sway you, and sway where you are in your own thoughts. Because I do feel with the Mice card here that like it's very fragile. This sense of self that you are currently building, it's very fragile, and this personal power that is building up, it's going to take time, and it's going to need space to like build up, because as I said, it's still very, very susceptible to outside influences. So yeah, just be mindful of that, that the other person may not react in the best way. But I also feel like saying that what you really want to be mindful of is sharing your predicament, or asking for like other people's advice, especially with the Hierophant in reverse. I feel like other people's advice may not actually be that like helpful, or that constructive. So yeah, just be mindful of asking other people's advice, because I feel like this process is something that you need to sort of arrive at on your own, or that you need to, like the walls and the things that are holding you back, those types of things you need to get to the bottom of by yourself. And it's not really anything that other people can tell you or show you, because this is an internal process. Okay, but anyway, so those are the messages that I'm feeling. Again, I do feel like this energy is actually quite explosive. We have the Knight of Swords here and we have the Seven of Wands here. So it's sort of very like combative almost. But I feel like that's the undercurrent of what you're going through. This is the energy that is like slowly sort of building up. But I do feel like it's necessary so that this construct could be broken down and so that you could reach this point of personal power and regain your sense of personal power again. But yeah, just be mindful that it is going to be a longer process. It's going to take time, especially with the Hanged Man here. I feel like you don't want to rush anything. The Knight of Swords is very much rushing energy. The Hanged Man in reverse also can suggest like wanting to skip or wanting to fast forward the radical and very, very necessary changes and realizations that you may have to go through to arrive to this point where you finally understand what needs to change. So yeah, be mindful not to rush. And just allow this process to occur as long and like annoying as it is with the mice, right? As long as annoying as it is, it's a process that requires time and it is going to arrive at a culmination point. I definitely feel that with the lightning, sorry. I definitely feel that. So just go with the process and keep fighting and uncovering these pitfalls or these things that are keeping you stuck, right? But we are going to close the reading out with a last oracle card from Spirit. This is going to be advice from Spirit to you regarding your current situation, and I'm also going to read from the guidebook for this. So let's see. Okay, we have number 33. Interesting. So yeah, we had 34 here, 43 here, and then we had number 5 here and number 23, which reduces down to 5. So we have some numerological synchronicities, and now we have a master number here. So this says, again, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this. I think it's Sijin or something like that, but I may be absolutely butchering it. This says loyalty, support, devotion. Yeah, I do feel like this is talking about, oh, interesting that it's talking about support, right? Because that's exactly what we've been talking about the whole reading. But I do feel like I want to say, be mindful of where your loyalties lie and who you are like loyal to or what you are sacrificing in the name of that loyalty. And again, where that loyalty is coming from. I feel like these are all very, very important questions because if they are rooted in fear, then that's a whole different type of energy. That's a whole different vibe to that devotion, right? Yeah, anyway, as I said, let's read from the book. Okay, so it says, this is a Norse goddess, loyalty, support, devotion. Goddess Sijin, the loyal wife of the trickster Loki, was so devoted that when the other gods chained her husband in a cave as punishment for killing Balder, not exactly sure, she would not leave his side. Above Loki was a venom-dripping snake, but Sijin held a bowl to catch it so the venom wouldn't touch her husband's head. Supporting loved ones is important in good times and bad. It's easy to be there for someone when things are going well, but being present in the harder times speaks more of your love. Be there for each other at all times equally. And the mantra says, my love and support are powerful. So yeah, I do feel like this is talking about a power dynamic which isn't equal, right? And where I feel like one is sort of sacrificing oneself too much for the other, because again, there is this need, there is this desire, or there is this feeling that you owe it to this other person because you kind of depend on them in some way or something like that. Again, as I said, it seems like it's sort of unbalanced, but I feel like that's what you really need to sort of break out of, because like the guidebook said, right, like you need to be there for people when they are struggling as well, not just for the good times. And I feel like you are struggling, but you are not actually getting that support and that like your needs are not really being met in full. So I do feel like this message, this advice is actually to turn your loyalty to yourself and to turn the support that you are seeking from others, that it should actually come from you. And it's important to start working towards finding that sense of strength and finding that sense of like resilience within you, because you are capable, you're more than capable of offering it to yourself. You don't need anyone to help you out. This is just an illusion. Don't get stuck in the illusion that you are helpless or powerless or anything like that, because you are not, okay? Pile 5, you are not. And I feel like this is a very, very, very necessary process that you are going through, that is going to show you that you're not, and that is going to lead you to a place where you can finally break out of the loop of feeling like you have to depend on someone else. So yeah, wow, what a reading, Pile 5. Oh my goodness. I mean, already from the mice card, I knew that this wasn't going to be the most easy reading, but I do feel like this is such a powerful and punchy message. And I love that that's the message that we're closing out with, which is personal power and finding it within you. So I am wishing you so much luck and so much strength, Pile 5. You can absolutely do it. Just have patience and keep going. Keep going. Don't allow that voice that wants to break free to die out, okay? But anyway, thank you so much, Pile 5. I hope that this reading resonated. I hope that it at least gave you something useful to think about. Please let me know in the comment section if this was your story and if this spoke to you in some way. I would love to know how this resonated. You can also just give me a thumbs up, and that would help my channel out immensely too. And of course, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe and join my little feather tribe so that you wouldn't miss out on the future readings that we do here. But anyway, if I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves. Any information that you need is in the description box down below. I hope to see you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.